Back here at Pap Stadium on the campus of the College of Wooster, Ed Doherty alongside Dave Wilson tonight as the teams are coming out of the halftime locker room. About 3 minutes to second half kick here at the first ever night game on the campus of the College of Wooster. Renovations to the stadium took place in the offseason. New field turf and lights installed, and Case honored with the first night game against the Fighting Scots of the College of Wooster. It is 24-18 at halftime. Case on top. The Spartans led at 1 point, 21-9. That closed out the first quarter. And then with that, Wooster scored the final 9 points of the first half to close within 24-18. Case got on the board first. Tim Cowdrick had a 12-yard reception from Dan Whalen. Then Russ Palm for Wooster would add a field goal on the ensuing drive, and it was 7-3 Case with 5:14 to play in the first quarter. The Spartans would respond on the following drive. Case would move backwards towards their goal line. Then on 3rd and 30, Whalen would throw one up down the left sideline. Cowdrick would run under it and take it all the way to the end zone for a 94-yard touchdown pass and a 14-3 Case lead. Mike Francis Congelli for Wooster would catch an 8-yard pass from Austin Holter, and the extra point was no good, and it was 14-9. Case would add another touchdown as the first quarter came to a close. Dan Whalen would have a 1-yard touchdown run as he would go up and over the pile for a 21-9 lead. Then Case on their ensuing drive of the second quarter would get a 22-yard field goal from Sam Coffey and lead 24-9, but a botched punt as the snap was too high for Whalen to handle in the end zone. And Wooster would pick up a safety and then on the ensuing drive take the ball downfield and get a touchdown. And that's where we stand right now, 24-18 at halftime between Case and the Wooster Fighting Scots. For Case as a team, they have 13 rushing plays on the evening, 40 yards rushing through the air, 251 yards passing. So Case has run 33 offensive plays, has 291 yards in total offense for the Wooster Scots. They have 131 yards on the ground on 20 carries and 157 yards passing for a team total of 43 offensive plays, 288 yards in total offense. Individually for Case, Dan Whalen leads the way through the air, 13 of 20, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Receiving-wise, Cowdrick on the top of the ledger, 139 yards receiving tonight for the senior. He has 2 touchdowns on 6 receptions. Zach Homick and Sean Nicely each with a couple of catches, and DJ Sutka has a 15-yard reception. Running the football, Whalen leads the team, 21 yards rushing on 5 carries. Derek Bush has 16 on 2 carries. Greg Meyer, 8 yards. He has 4 carries on the evening, and Corey Checken has 1 carry for 3 yards. For the Wooster Scots, Austin Holter, 15 of 30, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Holter also the leading rusher for the Scots, 7 carries, 89 yards, including the 41-yarder midway through the second quarter. For Case, they have had the ball 13 minutes, 36 seconds. Wooster 16-24. The Spartans are 4 of 6 on third down conversions, and Wooster converting 55%, 5 of 9 on third down conversions. We're about set to get set for second half kickoff. Sam Coffey will have the ball teed up at the 30-yard line, and with that, I'll bring back the voice of Case Western Reserve University football, Dave Wilson.
Ed, thank you very much. And one side note, Dan Whalen with 251 yards passing in the first half is 28 yards away from reaching the 8,000-yard mark for his career. Something tells me he'll make it tonight.
Well, Whalen came into the football first in passing efficiency in the nation, completing 77% of his passes. He was also first in touchdown to interception ratio, second in yards per completion, and second in touchdown passes. But he has since passed Brandon Luzak from Kalamazoo College, now has first place in the country.
We are underway in the third quarter. Wooster will have the football. It is taken behind the 10-yard line by Brian Albani. Runs it back out across the 20, and he's knocked down short of the 25-yard line. And that's where the Fighting Scots will take over with a chance to tie the game with a touchdown. Case leading it by 6, 24-18. Case ranked 10th in America by D3Football.com, 11th by the American Football Coaches Association, 25 consecutive regular season wins. Meanwhile, Wooster working on their own 3-game winning streak, and they trail it by 6 on their home field here. Holter to throw on the first play of the second half. He is now scrambling, ran into his own man, bounces away, over to the far side now, wings it downfield, incomplete. Looking for Mike Reddick. And on the defensive coverage for Case said was Derek Sharp, but I know you saw something downfield.
Todd Spillman was 10 yards downfield. He was at the 35-yard line. He's the right tackle for Wooster. He was down almost to the 35-yard line when that pass was let go. There is no reason there shouldn't be an illegal man downfield on that pass.
Well, it is very easy to miss Todd Spillman, Eddie. He is 6'5", 275.
Yeah, he gets lost in a lot of the traffic in the middle of a field.
Just underway, third quarter, and it is 24-18 Case. Second down and 10 for the Fighting Scots. They are wearing their black uniforms tonight. Now a whistle blows, flags come out, and that is a delay of game. They did not get the snap off in time. Second down and 15. Case in their traveling white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants, blue numerals, white helmets. Move it back to the 20-yard line. Second down and 15 for Wooster.
Doolin, May, and English up front for Case. Sasala, and Brown are the linebackers. We'll get to the secondary in a moment.
Holter back to throw, looking downfield. Lots of time. Fires middle of the field, and it's complete all the way out to the 40-yard line as he hooks up once again with Cam Daniels, the tight end. Daniels caught a touchdown pass in the first half, and they go for first down yardage here. A 21-yard pickup to Cameron Daniels. His 14th catch of the year. He's out of Clarksburg, West Virginia.
Sharp and Paramore are your safeties, along with Calabrese, Pelyak, and Kingscott in the secondary.
Robert Flagg carries straight up the middle. He is shy of midfield. They'll mark him down at the 47-yard line. Second down along 4 coming up for the Wooster Scots. 24-18 Case, second half action. Chilly night here in Wooster, temperature down around 50. Now they will hand it again to Flagg right up the middle, keeps his feet moving, gets across midfield, still on his feet to the 45, and finally hauled down. Lee Sasala got in there on the tackle. Dale English was there for Case.
Continues to run out of tackles by Case, and these aren't arm tackles. These are Case wrapping up, just not able to bring Flagg down. He's only 5'6", but he gets such a high leg kick, the Spartans aren't able to wrap it all up and bring him down.
They have 2 in the backfield now. Daniels lines up offset on the left side of the line. And Holter will work from the shotgun. They have 3 receivers in the game right now. First and 10 from the Case 44-yard line. 24-18 Case. Back to Holter. He will fake a handoff. Now they go to Daniels on a short screen pass. Daniels goes airborne over the 40 and is grabbed and hauled down there by Dan Calabrese. And they pick up about 7 on that play.
Calabrese went low, but he didn't put his head down, and because of that, he was able to stay with Daniels, who tried to leap over the top of him. Calabrese got up between him and dropped him to the turf.
Second down and 3 from the 37-yard line. Wooster marching down the field here. This drive started at the 25 and actually was backed up 5 yards to the 20 on a penalty. They'll go to Flagg on a screen pass. 40, 35, down to the 32-yard line, and is stopped right there. Again, Calabrese, Lisa Sala, Pelyak in there on the tackle.
Enough for a first down. They'll move the chains.
Continue to move the football. First drive of the second half for the Fighting Scots. Austin Holter calls out the signals from the shotgun, and again we'll look over to the sideline. Flagg shifts over to the left of Holter now. They have 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. That is Luke McCann lined up on the right side near the Wooster bench.
Oh, they moved up front. It wasn't called.
Now Flagg carries across the 25, goes diving down to the turf right on the hash mark, and they'll mark his knee back at the 26-yard line.
Storm Tropia, the left guard, leaning forward and not called for his illegal false start.
12:06 to play and counting, third quarter. Wooster marching, Case leading by 6. Holter has been very effective tonight. Senior Austin Holder out of Johnstown, Ohio. They will hand this one up the middle, and again, Flag continues to move those feet and gets a couple of yards out of this. He gets to the 23, 3-yard pickup, and it's very close to a first down, but they mark him short at its third and less than a yard, and Holter dives ahead and looks to have the first down.
Boy, it didn't look like Wooster was set, and Case might have been offside. Well, they'll let the play stand, and there you go. It'll be a first down.
They mark the first down, or signal the first down. They'll move the chains. Sellout crowd here tonight at Pap Stadium. First ever night game for the Wooster Scots in refurbished Pap Stadium, first constructed in 1914. 11:29 to play. Third quarter. Wooster with the football. Marching down the field. This drive started at the 25. Holter to throw. Looking to the end zone. Lots of time. Fires it. Almost picked off, but batted down by Case. That was Jeff Brown, who went parallel to the ground and knocked that ball away.
Well, that's a complete mismatch that Wooster had there. Mike Francis Congelli, the wide receiver, was locked up one-on-one with Jeff Brown. Brown stayed with him, was able to knock the ball down, but that's not a situation or a matchup Case wants to see more of.
Francis Congelli lines up, offset in the slot on the left. They have Reddick on the far left, McCann on the right. Now they'll hand it up the middle. Nope. Holter keeps it, fires it for Francis Congelli right over the middle, and it's incomplete. He had it right in his hands, but dropped the football, and it's third down and 10.
A little bit of gator arms for Francis Congelli. Pulled his arms back in, was looking for a big hit, thought he was going to get popped near the 5-yard line, and the ball just fell short as he was trying to haul it in.
Now Holter again looking over, directing some traffic on the left side. Now he will call out the signals, but steps back, looks over at the sideline for a new play. 11:13 on the clock, third quarter. Football is marked at the 22-yard line. Holter to throw, goes to the end zone, in traffic, and it is incomplete. A flag comes out. Flags come out against the Spartans. This will be a pass interference call against the Case Western Reserve Spartans.
And it's got to come from the back. Jeff Brown had pretty good coverage in the front. Ball was thrown into double coverage. I think that was Kingscott who was coming in from his safety position. And from where the flag came, they would have to have gotten Kingscott for a push in the back or some kind of pull on the jersey.
Well, from the 22, this ball will be marked off 15 yards. Well, actually, they mark it down now, yes, at the 7. Line of scrimmage at the 7, so a 3rd and 10. The pass interference gives a 1st and goal for the Wooster Fighting Scots. Knocking on the doorstep here with a chance to tie with a touchdown, take the lead with an extra point.
It'll be the Scots' first lead of the football game, should it come about. Case has led since the opening drive.
Austin Holter calls the signals. He has Flag to his left in the backfield.
Look for Daniels again.
Here they go. They fling it out to Francis Congelli. He makes the catch, and he's in for the touchdown. They go to the opposite side of the field. Holter throwing across his body, and he hooks up with Mike Francis Congelli, the Brunswick product, for the second time tonight, and the Scots have tied the game at 24 with 11:02 to play in the third quarter. Francis Congelli, his first 2 touchdown receptions tonight.
15 unanswered points plus the upcoming conversion for the Wooster Scots. Momentum really seemed to change in this football game when Case could not get the punt off after Sutka airmailed one over Wayland's head.
Russ Palm kicks the extra point. It's up and good. And it is a 25-24 Wooster lead here with 11:02 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside for this timeout. Back after this 30-second break on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Hey, out-of-town Spartan fans, are you looking forward to a long drive home after the game? If not, then spend the night, because at the Hampton Inn downtown, it's never been more convenient or affordable to stay in Cleveland. With special case rates as low as $84 per night, you'll have enough money left over to visit all the great attractions and restaurants within a safe walking distance to Hampton Inn's East 9th and Superior location. Less than 5 miles from Case. Great location, complimentary continental breakfast, and plenty to do. Hampton Inn, a proud sponsor of Case Athletics.
This is Case Western Reserve Football on News Talk 1420 WHK.
David Wilson, Ed Doherty, Kevin Welch, our studio engineer back at WHK. Case trailing now 25-24. First time this season that Case has trailed in a football game. They trail by 1 here to the Wooster Scots. Ryan Miner to kick things off for Wooster. He will approach the football, and a booming kick drifting all the way back inside the 10. It'll be grabbed there by the Spartans, and Sean Nicely out to the 20, to the 25, turns the corner, 30, still on his feet, out to the 40, and tackled near the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. A nice return for Sean Nicely of close to 32 yards. And the Spartans will come out with good field position after a nice return, Ed, and maybe that will be a little bit of a spark for the Spartans offense coming up.
A nice counter to the long drive by Wooster. Case now gets the ball out near midfield. They're not staring at the shadows of their own goalpost. Gives Whalen a little bit of room to work with.
5 receiver set that has been successful tonight. Whalen calling out the signals. Empty backfield as he takes it in the shotgun. Steps back, fires the pass, middle of the field to DJ Sutka. Makes the catch just short of midfield. And he's upended right there.
Well, Matt DeGrand made the tackle and then had a few words as he stood over Sutka after the tackle.
25-24, possibly not the time to start trash talking with a 1-point lead in the third quarter. Dan Whalen will call out the signals. He will hand it to Greg Meyer. Meyer turning around the right side, has running room out across midfield to the 40. Still on his feet, inside the 40 and tackled at the 37-yard line. Good run for Greg Myers. He powered his way around the right side. Had some good blocking out in front, and he runs for a first down.
Well, with that defense spread out, surprising that Meyer was able to get to the corner, but it was just a quick sprint sweep. And Meyer took it around the end and exploded up for about 15 yards.
And Whalen looking over to the sideline. I believe he's checking off at the line of scrimmage as well. 10 minutes to play, third quarter. Case down by 1. 25-24. Wooster with the 1-point advantage right now. Whalen takes the snap in the shotgun, hands it off to Meyer. A little draw play, and he dives out across the 35. He's near the 34-yard line.
Well, and Whalen checked off on that one, and they brought the draw to the left side. Chris Wade is the right defensive end, and Wade had moved out probably a good 3 to 4 feet off the left tackle. Marcus Kluzinski created an alleyway straight up there. So Whalen identified it and checked off to the draw play off the left side of the offensive line.
Suka lines up as a wide receiver, offset to the left in the slot.
Wade still split wide on the left or right defensive end.
Now they drop back. Whalen looking downfield. Flushed out of the pocket, gets rid of the football, has a man open. That's Holmick. He tries to keep his foot in bounds. They say he didn't. Tried to drag his feet as he fell out of bounds. He made the catch, and it was very close, but they wave it off. I'd love to see a replay on that one.
Well, he put his feet down, planted. I'm going to say he was out of bounds. Not that he didn't catch the football, but that his feet were not in bounds.
It looked as if he firmly got him in. No real argument from Case. Third down and 6 from the Wooster 34-yard line. Important third down play here for Case. Back goes Whalen in the shotgun. He'll fire it over the middle of the field. Caught by Nicely, 30. He's got a man on his back, but still running out across the 25, and he's pushed down near the 23-yard line. For the last couple of yards there, Ed, he carried Adonis Hernandez, the junior defensive back, with him for some extra yardage.
The Case offensive line did a nice job picking up the Wooster blitz, letting Whalen stand in the pocket for just a split second. And the pass went to the vacated blitzer's location.
First down play. They mark nicely down at the 24-yard line. First and 10. Case marching in Wooster territory right now and trailing it by 1. 25-24. Dan Whalen Again, calls out the signals, takes the snap. He'll wing it out to Holmick. Makes the catch 20, down to the 15. Picking his way forward inside the 15, down at the 14-yard line. Now the Spartans pick up close to 10 here. We'll see if they measure or if they'll eyeball it for a first down. They put the football right at the 14. I believe that's a first down.
It's going to be close. They're going to mark him short. Guess who's checked in at tailback?
Right now, Corey Checken is in at 2nd and inches. The human bowling ball will get the handoff. He has the first down and gets all the way down to the 10-yard line. Corey Checken rumbles ahead for 4 yards.
He's so hard to stop because he's just a fire plug of a player. Then he gets low to the ground, gets his shoulder pads over his knees. You can't get into his body. You have to take him on up high, and with that, you're going to give up at least 1, 2, 3 yards every time he catches or has the football in his hands.
Carries for 4 yards there, and a case first down, and it is 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. The Spartans trying to jump back in front, trailing at 25-24. Whalen with the bootleg play to the right, fires it back across his body to Sutka at the 5, and he puts his head down. He's very close. Let's see if he got in. DJ Sutka is down short of the goal line. The official is literally standing with the edge of his shoe on the goal line. That ball is on at the 1 millimeter line.
I don't know how you get any closer, and at this point,
that's got to go down as a 10-yard pass, but it will be scored a 9-yard pass. Now they will hand the ball to Checken. He dives in. It's a touchdown, Spartans. Corey Checken goes the final yard, and the Spartans score as Corey Checken finishes off a very impressive drive. That is his 2nd touchdown of the season and his 1st rushing touchdown in 2009 for the Spartans.
2nd. Had one last week, I believe, against Denison.
You're probably right. I never questioned.
I think he went in, but it was so unusual for him last week.
Exactly right. His 2nd touchdown of the season, 3rd overall.
That was the hole that opened up that even I could have run through against Denison.
That's right. He went in untouched. Sam Coffey will kick this one up, and it is good. The PAT is good, and the Spartans do jump back on top as they now lead it by a score of 31-25. We'll step away for a 30-second timeout. More third quarter action is coming up in just a moment on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
How to explain the new RTA Healthline to a squirrel.
Hey there, little squirrel buddy. You see Euclid Avenue here? It's going to be the RTA Healthline, a rapid transit line that will connect Public Square to University Circle. And things are going to get a little greener around here, with more trees, more acorns, and more kickin' squirrel parties downtown. Anywho, racing to that tree. Hey, slow down, squirrel. You're incredibly fast. You're a squirrel.
The RTA Healthline, pumping new life into Cleveland.
This is Case Western Reserve Football on News Talk 1420 WHK.
Corey Checken's 1-yard touchdown run gives the Spartans the lead again. Right now, a 31-25 lead, and Ed, the Spartans answer really extremely confidently on that drive, moving the football down the field. Here's the kickoff. It'll go to Albani at the 7-yard line. 15-20, right on the near sideline. Bounces off a tackle. 30, 35, 40, and he is gone. 50, 40, 30, down to the 20, to the 10, and he's in for a touchdown. 93 yards.
And that play developed because the Case team gave up. They ran into the wedge as Albani just sort of meandered towards his blockers. No real power on the Case end of the coverage team. And as soon as the Case team split apart, Albani took off and was down the sideline.
It comes with 6:52 to go in the third quarter. Brian Albani, who earlier this year had an 88-yard return in the season opener against Waynesburg, and he rumbles back 93 yards for the return and a touchdown. And the Wooster Scots jump in front again. Here is the kick from Palm. Flags are out. The kick is good, and they will check on the flags Right now the game is tied at 31 pending the extra point kick.
Pointing towards Case.
And they will decline it. And
that'll be on the kickoff?
Well, we'll see. They check the officials. It is declined. The point after is good. And it is 32-31 Wooster on Brian Albani's 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
The play was slow to develop. You could see something happening. 4 Case defenders had Albani pinned down near the 25-yard line, but they didn't look like they wanted to hit the Wooster blockers. Both of them touched up almost like it was a 7-on-7 drill, and Albani just took off between them and down the sideline for the touchdown.
So we play on now with 6:52 to go in the third quarter. It is 32-31 Wooster. Case again finds themselves trailing by 1. Long way to go in this one, and we have ourselves a shootout here tonight. Corey Checkin scored for the Spartans, and on the ensuing kickoff, Brian Albani returned the kick 93 yards for a score. And now Case will have an opportunity on a kickoff. Brian Metalsitz and Sean Nicely back deep to receive the kick from Ryan Miner. End-over-end kick will drive nicely back to the 5-yard line. Out to the 20, now to the 25, goes right up the middle of the field. He's still on his feet to the 30, tries to turn the corner, stiff arms a man out to the 40, and he's out to the 45-yard line, and he is knocked out of bounds, and flags come out at the tail end of the play.
That's going to be against Wooster. Rob Holtz, the freshman defensive end, is going to get called for a personal foul as he shoved down, I believe it was Lee Sasala, that he pushed down after the play was done.
Well, you saw flags come out from about 3 officials as soon as they saw that play. Motioning over to Mike Schmitz, who the call was against. And now the official's still talking it over, and there's your personal foul call against Wooster. They'll tack it on from the end of the play, and, or will they?
It should be from the end of the play.
And it looks like it is now, and they should put that ball near the Wooster 40-yard line, depending on exactly where Nicely went out of bounds, and it looks like it'll be right at the 41 of the Fighting Scots.
And Nicely was out of bounds, and then a player from Wooster just flung Lee Sasala to the ground. Rob Holtz looked to be the offending Wooster Scot. So now the Spartans are set up again to respond to the Wooster touchdown.
We'll see how they do. They put on the 5-receiver set. Cowdrick is in the slot along with Sutka on the right side. 2 on the left, 1 far right. Now Whalen back to throw. He's in trouble. Rolls out of the pocket. He has a couple of guys downfield, and he throws it away. Cowdrick was in the vicinity, but Whalen had to get rid of that football. And again, the same guy seems to be in Whalen's face all night. That's Chris Ackerman, the junior defensive end out of Rocky River. He is coming at Whalen almost at will off the right side.
And Andrew Zajac is having trouble.
Now Ackerman shifts over to the left. Whalen again will work with 4 receivers this time. Meyer has checked in, 2nd down and 10 from the 41 of the Fighting Scots. Case down by a point. Now Whalen drops back, looks downfield, in the middle of the pocket, has good protection this time. Jump past to Cowdrick, but he skips it. Whalen could not get a lot on that throw. Cowdrick was open. 3rd down and 10. 6:26 to go in the third quarter.
Just a note from the sideline, Robert Flagg was having his right ankle retaped for the Wooster Scots.
Looks like he will return, getting his spikes back on. Here come the Spartans now, 3rd down and 10. Football marked on the near hash mark. Cowdrick and Holmick on the right side. 2 men in the backfield blocking for Whalen. Now he rolls out right side, plenty of time. Now the rush comes and Whalen gets hit and knocked down behind midfield. Wooster records the sack as Steve Kustenborder, the linebacker, also out of Rocky River, takes Whalen down way back at the Case 47-yard line.
one of the few times this season that Whalen has been truly sacked on a play.
Whalen will punt this one away, standing back near his own 33. There's the snap. They come after it, but Whalen gets it off. Nice high end-over-end kick, and it will take a Case bounce and still rolling, and they will down this football. And actually, Lisa Sala felt that it touched a Wooster player, so he grabbed the ball and ran into the end zone.
It was close. Yeah, that's Sala looking around.
Hey. So he ended up picking up the football at the 5-yard line. So when it was that deep, why not go ahead and take a chance anyway? But the officials were not buying it. And so Wooster will come out.
But flag is on the sideline, and he's still slight limp as he walks around.
So on we play here with the football deep in Wooster territory. The Fighting Scots with the ball and a 1-point lead at 32-31. 5:34 to play, third quarter. Austin Holter has engineered a very nice game tonight for Wooster. He'll take the snap and hand off. This, I believe, is Murdoch filling in for Flag right now. And Kyle Murdoch drives up to the 8-yard line, picks up a couple. It'll be second down for the Wooster Scots. Well, if the defense can hold here, Ed, Case should get the ball back in good field position, but they have had trouble containing this Wooster offense tonight. Holter from the shotgun will roll to his right, fires back across the middle of the field, looking for Mike Francis Congelli. It's a little off the mark. Slightly behind his intended receiver. Greg Kingscott on the coverage. Jeff Brown. Brad Paramore was in there as well.
Yeah, threw into coverage. Surprising that Holter usually will pick his spots, check down until he finds a receiver that's open, or at least throw the ball out in front. That one was behind and in the coverage.
They will throw this one out to Luke McCann. Makes the catch at the 10, and this time the Spartans do not allow any extra yardage up the sideline as they knock McCann out near the 13-yard line.
It was a quick setup for Wooster. They were looking to catch Case in a defensive change, and now the Scots will have to punt.
Fourth down. And they will bring out Dana O'Berry, the 6'7 freshman, to punt. He is standing on his goal line, ready to accept the long snap. Dan Calabrese is back to receive this punt. He is set up at midfield. Here is the snap, and it's back to O'Berry, and he punts it away. Calabrese will take it at the 44-yard line. Straight upfield, past midfield, hit and knocked down at the 42 of the Wooster Scots. And Case takes over in Wooster territory for the second straight time. And I believe the last drive, Ed, started at the 41, and this one will start at the 42.
You have to wonder on the punts. This is the third consecutive night game that Case has played. What the difference is between receiving the punt during the day and then trying to field it under the lights here, how much of a difference that makes in the return game.
5 receivers set. Sutka lines up, right side, offset in the slot. They will go back with Whalen in the shotgun across the middle of the field to Caldrick across the 35. He is tackled there, and they will give him forward progress to the 34. Tim Caldrick, another catch, and he is putting together a nice night. Spartans short of the first down. They pick up 8 on the hookup from Caldrick, from Whalen to Caldrick.
8 catches on the evening now for Tim Caldrick.
Colasar lines up all alone on the left side. 3 receivers stacked on the right. They will go to Bill Deitman. He spins his way back to the 35 and probably lost a yard there. And so Case will be looking at a third down and a long 3 with under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Wooster 32 and Case 31.
Case did a nice job in the first half converting on third downs. They converted 4 of 6.
Deitman lines up to Whalen's left. 4 receivers. Case looking for a third down conversion here. Whalen calls out the signals, takes the snap, wants to get rid of it, has time, middle of the field, fires, and it is caught by Nicely for a first down. And that was an absolute rocket from Whalen out to the 28-yard line to Nicely.
Well,
and quite honestly, I do not know how he held on to that ball.
Well, Nicely did a nice job of stopping, reaching back, really body control to catch the football, catch it behind him with both hands, and get enough for a first down.
Whalen with first down yardage. Now he drops back to throw. Pump fakes. Now he rolls out of the pocket, still looking downfield. He will go to the middle of the field again, and it is caught inside the 20-yard line.
That's Tim Cowdrick down there, and Cowdrick is down on the turf.
He was hit and dragged down quickly as he caught the football on the tackle. Brian Swan, and Cowdrick is hurt. And two unbelievable catches, first by Nicely, this time by Cowdrick. And Cowdrick's perhaps had a little more impressive because he was being hit right as that ball arrived.
Well, and they're going to look, I think they're going to look at his back. And the way he caught the football and then tried to plant and got twisted at the same time. Initially, I thought it was his knee, that maybe he caught a spike as he got twisted, but they're looking at his, probably talking to him about his back, the way he's laying there, has both knees brought up.
Cowdrick's story well documented in terms of injuries, including a life-threatening fall in high school away from the football field, in which he suffered a broken back.
And he just keeps ticking.
Boy, he is a tough young man. He's up walking off under his own power right now and appears to be all right. And he gets a couple of pats from his teammates as he walks off, but he took quite a lick and hit the ground hard after making that catch. And the Spartans now have the football at the 17-yard line of the Wooster Scots. Wooster leading it by a point here at 32-31. Third quarter action. Dan Whalen, the senior quarterback out of Willoughby South, calls out the signals, takes the snap. They will keep it on the ground. Good running room here for the Spartans, and Billy Deitman gets inside the 10 as he rolls off the left side, has good blocking out in front, and the Spartans pick off some good yardage there as they get inside the 10, and Deitman had some good blocking by Marcus Kluzinski out in front.
This is Case's third offensive drive in the third quarter, and all three of them have eaten up a lot of time. The Scots have been on the field probably 9 minutes here in the third quarter defensively.
From the 9, Whalen will fire it to Zach Holmick, shakes the tackler, gets to the 5, and he goes in. It's a touchdown, Spartans. Zach Holmick with some nifty footwork after making that catch as he picked his way forward the final 8 yards, and he scores to give the Spartans the lead as they jump back on top now, 37-32.
Adonis Hernandez had fallen down in coverage as he looked like he just slipped, and I think Holmick stepped on him as he went over his back to get into the end zone.
Whatever he had to walk on, he did.
I think he stepped on the backside of Adonis Hernandez, who was laying on the turf.
Holmick with his 5th touchdown reception. Now Whalen back as they go for 2. They throw to the back of the end zone. It's Cowdrick, and he makes the grab for a 2-point conversion. Tim Cowdrick back in after being shaken up on a prior play. Breaks free in the back of the end zone, and the Spartans make up the point they lost earlier, and it's now a full 7-point lead, 39-32. Dan Whalen to Zach Holmick for the touchdown. Whalen to Cowdrick for the PAT.
They might run out of light bulbs on the new scoreboard.
They're giving it a workout tonight, Ed. 2:15 to play third quarter, and it's 39-32. Case ranks 14th in Division III at 39.25 a game, so they are right at their season average. Wabash is first in America at 50.75 points a game.
Was Wabash the team that put up 70 last week on Hiram?
Actually, I believe that was another team. I don't think it was. End over end kick from Coffey, and it's back to the 7-yard line. Albani will try it again, and this time he is hit and dropped by the Spartans. That's Billy Deitman.
Wow. The Spartans made sure this time that Wooster was not going to return the football, and Deitman just knifed in there. And a picture-perfect textbook tackle, dropped his shoulder, and Albani just took a hit to the ribs, and down he went.
2:09 to play here in the third quarter, and here come the Wooster Scots. Boy, they have given a spirited effort tonight, and right now the Spartans leading at 39-32. Zach Homick, a touchdown catch. Tim Cowdrick, a couple of touchdown catches tonight. Now they'll hand this ball to Flagg, who is back in there after injuring an ankle earlier. He's tackled by Lee Sasala out near the 30-yard line.
Case has gone back to their base defense. Earlier in the game, you had seen a 4-2 alignment from Case with 5 defensive backs. They're back to that traditional 3-3 stack set.
Holter will call out the signals here on 2nd down and 4. Flagg gets the fake on the handoff, and now Holter flips the pass out near the sideline, and I believe that ball might have been tipped. It was an end-over-end pass.
Dale English got a piece of it, which caused it to go.
Cameron Daniels was the intended target.
And as soon as it was tipped, a player in the defensive secondary for Case recognized it, tackled a Wooster wide receiver, as he's allowed to do as soon as the ball is tipped.
Right,
the interference
fair game.
Up.
Fair game at that point. 1:35 to play in the third quarter. Now it's 3rd down and 5. Holter to throw. Goes out to Flagg. Makes the catch at the 32-yard line. But he goes down with Paramore on the coverage. And he'll be short of the first down.
And Flagg gets up limping again. That right ankle was caught underneath him as he went down. Paramore tackled him. And he'll limp to the sideline.
O'Berry will come out with the punting unit. And Nicely will drop back to receive this ball out near his own 35-yard line. O'Berry has done a nice job tonight punting. Now they are just a yard short. O'Berry waiting on the snap. There it goes, and he will kick it away. Nice punt. Nicely asks for the fair catch and makes it back at the 28-yard line. So that's where the Spartans will come out and take over as the defense holds. And Ed, as you mentioned, the Spartans running a lot of clock here in the third quarter, and right now it is a drive where they need to do the same thing.
At some point, just with the time that the Wooster team is going to spend on the field, the defensive unit on the field in the second half, you wonder if the Spartans can eventually wear them down and finally pull away.
Right now, 46 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Whalen will keep it on the ground. Greg Meyer has run very effectively tonight on a sore left knee. And he is out to the 35-yard line and picks up close to 7 on that play. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it a long 3 for Case, just short of the 35-yard line. Greg Meyer coming in. 34 carries, 229 yards on the season.
Was averaging just short of 7 yards a carry, and Bill Deitman at 5.5. So the running game, when it can get going for Case, is very effective.
Greg Meyer playing tonight, by the way, with that sore knee after he was questionable, but he has appeared now in all 38 games in his career. Case will let the clock wind down. That's the end of the third quarter. They did not take advantage of another play, and they wisely get things to the all-important fourth quarter. We'll take a timeout. Back with more from Wooster in just a moment. 39-32 Case. We'll be back on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Attention! Hydrolyze is currently seeking participants with dark circles and puffy eyes. If you have dark circles or bags around your eyes due to heredity, fatigue, or aging, you are eligible to see results and participate in the Hydrolyze trial. Hydrolyze was introduced to improve delicate skin around the eyes and now has been shown to eliminate dark circles and bags. It effectively diminishes even dark circles caused by heredity. To participate in the Hydrolyze trial and see results risk-free, call 1-800-500-0739. Fragile capillaries around the eye can leak, allowing blood to pool beneath the skin like an ugly bruise. But right now, you can join the thousands of people who have seen their dark circles fade away, watched as bags literally disappeared from view. Participate in the free trial by calling today. If you're serious about getting rid of your dark circles or bags around the eyes, you are eligible to participate and experience results with Hydrolyze. Call this number today, 1-800-500-0739. Once more, that's 1-800-500-0739.
This is Case Western Reserve Football on News Talk 1420 WHK.
And Whalen hooks up with Ryan Colasar on the first play of the fourth quarter and moves the football out to the 43-yard line, and it's good for a first down. Ryan Colasar makes the catch. Colasar, the senior out of Mentor, goes over 200 yards receiving on the season with that catch. Underway in the fourth quarter, 39-32. Spartans leading it by 7. Dan Whalen takes the snap. Will wing it out again to Colasar. Same play across midfield. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Defensively, Hector Clavillo there for Wooster.
Yeah, Clavillo coming over from his linebacker position, but Albani giving Colasar a big cushion and backpedaling almost into a zone position. And Clavillo maybe was late getting over on the underside of that zone. And that's what opened the door for Colasar.
Albani lines up on Colasar again. They will hand this one to Corey Chekin straight up the middle on second down and 2. And Chekin gets the first down. 14-10 to go, fourth quarter, just underway in the final period. 39-32, Case by 7. They have the football. And Ed, looking at that stat sheet at the end of three quarters, how many yards did Corey Chekin have on the night?
For Corey Chekin with a total of 8 yards on 3 carries, but
he picks up 3 more right there, so he's still a little short of 1,000 for his career. Greg Meyer gets the handoff across the 40 to the 35, still on his feet, lost his balance, tried to stay up, and actually that's Derek Bush. Pardon me, Derek Bush gets the carry there and stayed on his feet, was trying to get back on balance as he crossed the 35, but his knee touched down at the 34-yard line.
See, very close again to a first down, and if I was Case, I'd check back in with Corey Chekin, get a first down, again force Wooster to be on the field for more time.
Whalen will sneak this one. It's 2nd and inches, and Whalen goes for it, puts his head down and gets the first down. So on the keeper, the Spartans get the first down, and they pull Whalen back out from the pile. Officials actually talking about this? No, it's a first down. Now they signal for it. Whalen got a good push from his offensive line. He only needed an inch. Boy, earlier in the game on the Corey Chekin 1-yard run, it was literally an inch to go for a touchdown. Similar there on the first down for Dan Whalen. 4 receivers set. Derek Bush is in to Whalen's left. 3 receivers on the left side. Colasar is the lone man on the right, which is the short side of the field. Now Whalen will hand the football to Bush. Has good blocking. Puts his head down. Dives across the 30 and picks up 4. Case moving the football in Wooster territory right here with a 7-point lead of 39-32. What a game we have going tonight here at Pap Stadium in Wooster. Spartans ranked 10th in America. They won last week and moved from 9th to 10th.
Worcester's been a perpetual albatross for this Case team. 5 of the last 8 years, these teams have come in both undefeated, and this game has always seemed to set the direction for the Case season.
Flags come out, and that will be a false start against the Spartans. They will back it up, and it'll be 2nd down at about 10. They'll move the football back to the 34-yard line.
To finish that thought, in 07, Case finally defeated Wooster and went on to an undefeated season, beat them last year as well as undefeated. In 06, they lost and were 5-5. Back in 2005, they were really beaten up by Wooster, and after a 3-0 start, went into a tailspin and finished 3-7. So this is the game early in the season that really guides the Spartans the rest of the way.
They will flip it back to Whalen in the shotgun. Wants to go for it all deep downfield in the corner of the end zone, looking for Holmick, and he cannot hang on. Holmick lobbying for a pass interference call, but did not get it as he goes down to his back, but could not hang on. And boy, those are the kind of catches that we've seen Holmick make a lot. Taylor Trout all over Zach Holmick with good defensive coverage. And it'll be 3rd down and 11 for Case from the 34-yard line.
This is probably 4 down territory for Case, the way Sam Coffey has been kicking the football this year. Not making a field, or only making one over 30 yards.
Whalen again on 3rd down and 11. Wooster showing blitz.
He's going to run out of time.
Whalen asked for and got a timeout before the play clock went down. It was at 1, and Greg Devilack comes out clapping his hands. And we'll take a timeout as the Spartans do as well. 12:04 to go, 4th quarter. 39-32 Case, back in 30 on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
How to explain the new RTA Healthline to the stratosphere.
Hey, Stratosphere, down here. Yeah, up on the roof. Yeah, so you know how you like having a stable temperature and an abundant supply of oxygen? Well, good news, Sky. The new RTA Healthline vehicle that zooms down Euclid Avenue is powered by hybrid technology. It produces like 90% less emissions, so give it up. High five. Oh, don't leave me hanging, Stratosphere. Seriously, high five.
The RTA Healthline, pumping new life into Cleveland.
This is Case Western Reserve Football on News Talk 1420 WHK.
Case talked it over in a timeout. Now it's 3rd and 11. Spartans leading at 39-32. 4th quarter action. Whalen checks off at the line of scrimmage. Checking is in for blocking. Now Whalen back to throw. He will go for it long again. Down the field for Homick. He looks up. He grabs it. And he makes the catch. And it's a touchdown as he rolls over the pylon. Touchdown Spartans. Zach Homick hauls it in from 34 yards out.
Case has now ticked that scoreboard up to 45. That's the most points they've ever scored against a Wooster team. Only other time Case has been over 40 points against Wooster was back in 1994 when they defeated the Scots 40-23, but that game was at home. And Dave, we talked about it earlier. Case looking to win the first time here in Wooster since 1987.
Coffey ready to attempt a PAT. The kick is on the way. It is perfect. And Case extends the lead now to 14 points, 46-32 on Zach Homick's acrobatic 34-yard touchdown reception right in the corner of the end zone as he landed on the pylon. And Ed, we saw that play a moment ago nearly connect, and Dan Whalen checked off at the line of scrimmage and went back to that. I believe the senior was convinced that he could make that play happen.
Well, and we heard Coach DiCarlo at halftime make the comments that Coach Devilack trusts Dan Whalen to whatever Whalen sees on the field. And we've seen Whalen have the ability either to talk Coach Debs into something or to convince him to go for it on 4th down, or to say, I have an idea what's going on, or to let me run that play again. And right there, that may have been discussed during the timeout. And Whalen said, I can get it. And I'm sure Homick said, I can catch it.
Ready for the kickoff. What a night for Case. 46 points on the board, 46-32. Here is Coffey with the kick. And he puts every bit that he has into that one. It goes back to the 7-yard line. It'll be taken by Albani, who ran back one earlier for 94 yards. Not this time. And way ahead of the play, we've got some guys all tangled up. Albani is tackled out near the 27-yard line.
The 76 points scored tonight, the most in a Spartan football game since 2003. When Wooster defeated Case 62-33. You have to go back for a Case win when they've scored this many points. You have to go back to 2002. And a win over Carnegie Mellon, 42-35.
9 plays on that scoring drive for Case Ed. And again, they took up 3.5 minutes. They will swing this one out to Kyle Murdoch from Holter. He gets out to the 30 and is pushed out of bounds over on the Case sideline. Rich Doolin was over there helping with the defensive coverage on the tackle. 46-32, a 14-point lead for the 10th-ranked Spartans.
We've seen Wooster tonight. Everything is within about 12 yards of the line of scrimmage. Only one time tonight have they taken the big hit down the field. You have to wonder at what point they're going to start thinking of stretching the football field.
They will hand this football up the middle. Nope, now Holter keeps it on the fake to Murdoch, and it just did not develop, and Case tackles him back near the 30-yard line.
Jeff Brown was coming on a blitz, recognized the fake, stopped in the hole, circled around the left side of the formation, and was there to make the tackle.
11:07 to play, fourth quarter. Clock continues to move with Wooster keeping the ball on the ground. They will snap this one back to Holter. That was a bad snap. He had to go down to get it. Now he's in trouble. The ball is tipped, and it is grabbed, and it is on the turf, incomplete.
Boy, Greg
Kingscott almost picked that one off as that one was tipped. Holter is hurt. He narrowly got rid of that football before English and Doolin arrived, and how would you like to be under those two guys?
Well, he stepped into it, and as he stepped up, the two of them just smushed him.
He is limping off the field under his own power, but Holter is shaken up after that play. Boy, tough young man to hold his ground and get the pass away. Someone got a hand on it, and I don't know if it was one of Doolin or English or not, but that ball was up for grabs, and it was almost intercepted. As it is, it's fourth down. And the Case defense rises to the occasion here against a Wooster offense that has moved the ball very well tonight. But with a 14-point lead, Wooster really needed a drive there, Ed, and some offensive execution to move the ball again, and Case shut them down.
And reset the play clock. Should reset to 25 seconds, but they're going to reset it to 40. With the injury, it's officials' timeout, so it should go to 25 from the spot of the whistle.
They will set it at 25. And the Spartans will set it up. It's going to be, well, here's the punt from O'Berry. And drifting back near the 30-yard line, they will not attempt a return here. The ball bounces, and it will be down at the 29. Well, it looks like they will mark it at the 30. And that's where Case will come out and take over with 10:43 to play in the fourth quarter, and Case leading it by 14. And now, Ed, you definitely don't want to go into an overly conservative approach, but a ball-controlled scenario right here is going to make sense for Case.
Yeah, at this point you're looking to chew up clock, and ideally, if Case is unable to score, they need to take about 4 minutes off the clock, which would amount to getting one, possibly two first downs, and really put Wooster deep in their own territory, down 2 scores. That's probably the second choice behind scoring.
Yeah, they will go to Greg Meyer on the handoff across the 35, straight up the far hash mark, and he is grabbed and pushed down. They'll give him forward progress out to the 38-yard line. Nice run by Greg Meyer, and that gets him into a 2nd and 2. Ed, Case on first down plays, they have gotten some very nice yardage tonight to set up short second downs.
Well, it opens up what you can do. Your options are many when you're 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2. The question of whether or not you want to run it up the middle, you want to take a shot downfield.
They will give it to Meyer once again. He will try and get the first down, and does. Has plenty of running room to the 45. Spins at the 50, across midfield, and he's down at the 48-yard line.
I'll stop the clock with 9:52 as they set to chains. As long as Case continues to rumble with the football, Wooster will not get the football back with anything more than 8 minutes to go in the game.
Greg Meyer playing on a sore knee, runs for 14 right there, all the way to the Wooster 48-yard line.
Bill Deitman checks in at tailback.
Now Meyer gets a breather. They have 4 receivers in the game, 3 to the right side. They will go to Billy Deitman. Turns it across the left side. Upfield near the 43-yard line. He's brought down right there. 5-yard pickup.
He ran through an arm tackle of Dan Terhune, the defensive tackle for Wooster. Reached up, grabbed Deitman's jersey, and Deitman just pulled away. Picked up 5 yards.
Back-to-back touchdown passes to Zach Homick have brought the Spartans back from a 32-31 deficit. Whalen changes the play again, is yelling out to the receivers on the right side what the new play is. And he'll go to the left, and he hits Homick with a pass across the 35, down to the 30, across the 30, and he stays in bounds at the 29-yard line. Another first down for Case as Holmick makes another catch. And Whalen right now, Ed, in this second half, has been carving up Wooster like a surgeon.
We don't have the official numbers yet, but Whalen has to be approaching 400 yards passing to go with his 4 touchdowns tonight, which gives him 23 on the season. Has 1 interception, so the 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and over 1,700 yards passing.
And he has gone over the 8,000-yard mark tonight for his career. He will swing this one out, and it's caught by Nicely. His momentum taking him out of bounds at the 21-yard line, short of the first down. Nicely was headed over to the sideline, made the catch, and could not turn it upfield to stay in bounds.
Looked like he turned an ankle as he came off the field.
Running off. A little gimpy over there as he gets to the sideline. Gets a pat on his back from Greg Devilak.
2nd and 2, and Corey Checken in the football game. Stacked in an eye behind Whalen in a short shotgun.
Now Whalen takes the snap. He'll give it to Checken with a running start. Has the first down to the 15, to the 10, on the 5. He stumbles now as he's tackled and falls down at the 3-yard line. How do you like that? Corey Checken. You might say he wrestles his way down to the 3. He was carrying Taylor Trout with him. The sophomore defensive back was along for the ride. Corey Checken has to be approaching that 24-yard mark now that he needed to reach 1,000 in his career. That probably putting very close. He'll line up now, 3 men in the backfield. 1st and goal from the 4. They'll give it to Checken again. Puts his head down, goes for the goal line. No signal yet. Not sure he got in.
He's short by a yard.
He had Meyer out there blocking for him. Bush was in there. Corey Checken very close to the goal line. They put him down at the 1, so 3 more for Checken. 7:20 to go in the 4th quarter, and Case trying to make this a 3-touchdown lead. Right now it is 46-32. Whalen will go back. He'll hand this one to Checken. He is in for the touchdown, Spartans. Corey Checken, his 2nd touchdown run here in the second half. Goes in from 1 yard out again, and the Spartans lead it by a score of 52-32.
With the pending extra point, this will be 22 unanswered points for the Spartans. Case trailed 32-31 following the punt return, the kickoff return by Albani for Wooster. And since then, Case has simply taken control of the football game. And at this point, have put up 21, pending the extra point, could be 22 unanswered points.
They trailed 32-31 in this game. So Coffey getting set for the extra point. Colasar will hold it. Long snapper is DJ Sutka. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick from Sam Coffey. And Coffey remains perfect on the night. Kick is good. And it is a 53-32 lead. Case in front here at the College of Wooster. We'll step aside for a timeout. Back with more after this on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Everyone needs rest for the mind and body. Plan your R&R getaway at the Intercontinental Cleveland or Intercontinental Suites Cleveland with the Cleveland Plus Pass package starting at only $155 per night, plus tax. Treat yourself to comfortable accommodations, overnight valet parking, and a 2-day Cleveland Plus Pass to as many as 10 nearby attractions. The Intercontinental is located just 1 mile west of University Circle in Cleveland's Cultural Corridor. Call 216-707-4100. That's 216-707-4100. Or visit IntercontinentalCleveland.com.
This is Case Western Reserve Football on News Talk 1420 WHK.
Case Western Reserve University trying to post its first victory here at Wooster since the year of Ed Doherty's birth in 1987. And they are well on their way to doing so tonight, 53-32. Here's the kick from Sam Coffey. It will be back at the 12-yard line, and Albani will bring it back. Got a head of steam out across the 30, and he's tackled out near the 34-yard line, and that's where the Scots will take over. Corey Checken finishing off that drive. I'll get the particulars on the drive here, Ed. 8 plays, 70 yards in 3 minutes, 40 seconds. What a nice job by the Spartans to really take control of the game, as you said. Very important to eat up 3 to 4 minutes, which they did, and as a bonus, they score.
And put up 7 more. So Wooster in a hole, down 20-21.
Back to throw Holter, and now time is of the essence, and he hits Francis Cangeli with a pass out near the 45-yard line. So he picks up 12 yards on that play and a first down. They'll go with the no huddle now, and they're ready to snap it to Holter. Kyle Murdoch is in the backfield, and they are trying to run the no huddle, Ed, but they did not have the play or the alignment they wanted. Now they get everybody set, and Holter is trying to throw it. He's in trouble. Now he rolls out of the pocket. Left side will throw it away. Holter flushed out, tried to throw it on the run, and just got rid of it.
This is not a team that's built to come back quickly.
Well, we saw that methodical approach in the first half work very well. And even into the third quarter, when they had a 32-31 lead. They had a 25-24 lead earlier. They'll go underneath to Francis Cangeli, and that one's knocked away. Lucas Sasala and Lee Sasala on the coverage. Lee Sasala has had another very solid game at linebacker tonight, Ed.
And defensively for Case, they seem to really put the screws to the Wooster offense when they went back to their base alignment of a 3-3 set. Earlier in the game, they had been playing more of a 4-2, trying to prevent the runs. And with the 3-3, they've been able to really slow down the swing passes.
Holter down the middle of the field. Jeff Brown dives, and he thinks he picked it off. Let's see the official
no call.
signal.
They're all looking at each other.
They have not yet called it, and it's an interception for Jeff Brown at the 40-yard line. Jeff Brown picks it off, and the Spartans take over as the defense forces the turnover.
That's Case's first turnover of the football game.
Jeff Brown, who earlier set out with a sore shoulder in the Oberlin game, coming back tonight with a terrific effort. For Jeff Brown, that's his first interception of the season.
Team now has 9. And they go back to +5 as a defense.
Whalen now will work with 6:21 to go here in the fourth quarter, and Case up by a score of 53-32. And here's Corey Checken again, straight up the middle, all the way to midfield, carrying a couple of guys with him down to the 47-yard line. Well, I've rarely seen Checken run the way he has tonight.
Well, and it's going to be Corey Checken the rest of the way, I get the feeling. As effective as he's been, and the way that offensive line now just seems to be blowing that Wooster line off the ball, and we talked about it. That Wooster defense was on the field a lot in the third quarter, and we thought there was a possibility that they could wear down, and it sure seems like it here midway through the fourth quarter. That defensive front 6 and 7 not really able to stop Case at this point.
Corey Checken has also blown by the 1,000-yard mark for his career tonight, and he gets the call again all the way down to the 40. 5:41 to play. And the clock continues to move. 53-32. Case leading it. Be at home next week and back to daytime football, Ed. And much as you like games under the lights, it's kind of a neat little departure from the norm. I'll be glad to see that 1 o'clock start time next week.
Been a month since we've seen the sun, hasn't it, Dave?
3 straight night games with the bye week in between. And so back to a 1 o'clock start next week against Ohio Wesleyan. Back-to-back home games coming up for Case. There's Corey Checken on the handoff, second down, and he gets out close to first down yardage. Up there blocking for Case was Brian Webster, trying to clear a path for Corey Checken.
Ohio Wesleyan and Hiram to close out the NCAC portion of the schedule. and get set for UAA action. Case will travel to Chicago on Halloween and be in Pittsburgh on November the 7th and hosting.
Finish it up against Wash U on the 14th.
Spartans have a 6-game conference winning streak and have won back-to-back UAA titles.
Dan Whalen takes the snap on third down. They'll hand it Chekin, and he did not get anywhere near the first down. They're
going to mark Chekin behind the line of scrimmage.
That'll be the first time this year, if they mark it as such, that he will have negative yardage.
Yeah, they're going to give him a -1. 7th time in his career that Chekin has failed to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, we're digging deep to find something wrong tonight.
That's such an odd stat that you're counting the number of times that a running back has not gotten positive yardage. That's how effective Corey Chekin is at moving the football forward.
It's 4th down and 4, and Case will let the play clock go down and take a penalty, or did they take a timeout? It looks like they used a timeout. Or did they? I don't know if the official knows they called a timeout. The whole Case contingent on the field was moving over toward the sideline as if it was a called timeout.
Well, it had to be because they didn't back him up for a penalty.
Yeah, now they've restarted the play clock again.
So it's
either a timeout or it's a 5-yard penalty, but it looks like they're not doing either.
And they're just winding more clock.
Well, Mike Schmitz has got to be wondering what in the heck's going on right now. Now the play clock has gone down again. And now they get the delay of game against Case.
And that was a 40-second bonus for the Case Spartans.
I have no idea how that could have possibly been handled in that manner.
Case had 65 seconds to run that play.
3:15 to play in the 4th quarter, and Case will punt it away. Dan Whalen would be back to punt from his own 40. They had Zach Holmick all alone on the right side. They finally found him and lined up a defensive back on him, and now more flags come out. This was not a delay of game. There was 8 left on the play clock, but it's a false start against the Spartans. Unfortunately, the play clock or the game clock not moving after the penalty. Case leading this game by a score of 53-32. We have 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. It was a ball game tonight. Case gets the snap back to Whalen.
Wow.
And he booms this punt, and it will land in the end zone.
Officially a 48-yard kick, but off Whalen's foot, that ball traveled 65 yards in the air.
Absolute majestic punt by Dan Whalen. And with 3:08 to go here in the 4th quarter, it's all but decided right now as Case has come in here to Wooster. And they have overcome definitely their most competitive opponent of the season to date. Wooster with a very strong effort all the way into the second half of this game.
Well, the Scots are definitely a top-tier NCAC team, and were predicted to be in the contention with Wabash for the crown.
Holter goes down as the Spartans record a sack. Jeff Brown was back there, and he will get credit for the sack along with Rich Doolin. Case sacks Holter all the way back down at the 17, so they lost 3.
Doolin now up to 4 sacks on the season. Brown at 1.5.
Holter again in trouble, steps through the pocket, throws, and it is knocked down by Jeff Brown as he went up. Had he been on a basketball court, he would have been able to touch the rim.
Brown thinking, hey, can I get 2 tonight?
Brown knocks that pass down, could not bring it in for his second pick of the evening. He had an interception a moment ago on Worcester's last possession. 2:30 to play, 4th quarter. Case Western Reserve about to post its 26th consecutive regular season win. Back to throw Holter. Pump fakes. Now he's in trouble. Doolin right in his face. Throws, and it's incomplete. Looking for Mike Francis Kingelli. 4th down coming up for the Wooster Scots. Boy, no shortage on positives to talk about tonight for Case. We witnessed, as you sort of aptly described it, somewhat of a disjointed effort last week where the Spartans were just a little off kilter and yet were able to put together a 3-touchdown barrage in the span of about 9 minutes in that game to pull away from the Big Red. But tonight, Ed, even though they trailed it a couple of points in this game, the Spartans had it all clicking tonight with Dan Whalen leading the way and Corey checking on the ground.
Well, Whalen again throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Just another ordinary day at the office for Dan Whalen. And statistically, that won't hurt his standing nationally. And there is growing momentum, at least among some of the insiders, that believe that Whalen has a legitimate shot to finish in the top 4 or 5 for the Gagliardi Trophy, the equivalent of the Division I Heisman.
Dan Whalen, by the way, is out as the Spartans take over at the 45-yard line. Joey Baum is in at quarterback. They will hand this ball off, and I believe, I'm going to wait till he gets up. I believe it's Derek Bush carrying the football out across midfield. Bush, the junior, gets all the way to the 46-yard line of Wooster with 2 minutes to play in the football game. Well, Dan Whalen certainly will merit consideration for the Gagliardi Trophy. And as Case continues to move toward the end of the season, you have those conference games coming up, and it will be certainly key for Dan to continue to put up impressive numbers against some tougher opponents.
Well,
and whether or not the games lend themselves to that at that point, we'll just have to see.
And that's what tonight was about. Come in against a stiffer competition, and Whalen still managed to have a 400-yard, 4-touchdown game. Opponent, this was not a Kenyan-type defense.
Their lines are big. Their linebackers are quick. Wooster will win some games moving into the second half of their season.
October 24th is the big one here at Wooster, as Wabash will come in.
Joey Baum piloting the team right now with 50 seconds left in the football game. It's 3rd and inches for Case. Baum will try and move straight ahead to get the first down.
It's going to be very close.
He tried to push the football ahead, and the yard marker's about to move. It looks like where they spot the football, it will be good for the first down.
Baum really didn't bury his shoulder. He just tried to push the pile with his chest.
Hey, you mentioned Dave DiCarlo's interview at halftime, and we remind you that you can hear the full version of that interview online as Baum will take a knee, and that will do it for the game. Only 30 seconds left on the game clock. Joey Baum will take a knee and finish this one out. DiCarlo saying in that interview that Baum has worked on his arm strength to the point where he can throw the ball 60 yards in the air now. He could only throw it 45 when he came to Case. So he has done a terrific job in terms of development. That is it. Final seconds ticking off here. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and it is official. The Spartans have won tonight here at the College of Wooster. Final score, 53-32. Case improves to 5-0, and the winning streak lives on. It has now reached 26 consecutive regular season games.